Welcome to the first edition of Washed Up, where your two favorite washed up football players get together and talk about the sports that you love. We're also known as your mother's favorite sports show because why, JD?
Because mothers love us, and why wouldn't they? We're great looking guys, and we're nice to their daughters.
Exactly, that's exactly right. Anyways, I am Jake Olson. Many of you know me as the USC's former long snapper, and we are here talking to you about all kinds of sports, but in this holiday season, especially college football and the bowl season that is among us. JD, this is my favorite time of year.
Oh, how could it not be? It's college football every single day, every single minute. It's a Tuesday afternoon, you're watching 3 different bowl games, and I cannot get enough of it. Junkies like us, Jake, this is our time of year, baby, our time to shine.
Oh yeah, let the eggnog flow fast and long with every bowl game that comes on the TV. JD, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about your background?
A little bit about me. I played my college football at Cornell University. I was a running back and had a blast being there. It was extremely cold all 4 years. I got to get very familiar with walking and driving in snow. Still not very good at either of them. Had one more year of eligibility to use. Went to Baylor University and had aspirations to walk on the football team. Was on the team for a period of time, and unfortunately, too few many hits to the noggin, was forced to stop, but now I'm loving life in Waco and pursuing this dream of mine with journalism broadcasting and washed up as ever, but I'm loving life. So that's a little bit about me.
That is awesome, and I am trying to do the same, JD. We're in this boat together, both washed up, both aspiring broadcasters. So here we are helping you guys out this holiday season. JD, let's first talk about yesterday. The playoff committee came out with the top 4. I thought this was the first year where it just was very obvious, and I think they did the right decision in making LSU 1.
Absolutely, and almost, I was talking to some buddies of mine, it felt almost anticlimactic the whole season. Even the week leading up to this selection Sunday, it felt like, who's it gonna be? If this happens, then maybe they get in. If this happens, maybe they get in. And then the dust settled and everyone was like, okay, these are the best 4 teams. There's no real debate about it. And it felt a little bit anticlimactic in that way, but I think at the end of the day, there's no real question that the right 4 teams are in, the way that the schedule played out and the way they all settled up. So.
Agreed. It's the 4 best teams. And which are you more excited for? LSU versus Oklahoma or Ohio State versus Clemson?
You know what? I'm most excited for Ohio State and Clemson, and here's why. Everyone has been counting out Clemson all season long. Everyone has been down on them. Trevor Lawrence has been not quite as explosive as he was a year ago, or quite as efficient as he was a year ago in terms of throwing the ball. We've seen a few more interceptions from the young sophomore, but even with all that said, they're still undefeated, one of the best teams in the country, ranked number 3, and they took care of business, hanging a 60 burger on Virginia in ACC championship. So this Clemson team, I would not want to be playing them at this point in the year. And in the same breath, Ohio State has been absolutely electric all season long. Almost, when you look at Clemson's season, they're almost different in the way that they've just been dominant. Ohio State has been dominant up to this point, stumbled a little bit in the Big Ten championship. Maybe that continues into this big playoff game. So I'm looking forward to see that matchup and seeing them get after it in that playoff game, without a doubt. Very competitive.
No, I agree.
Very physical.
I agree, and we'll have more analysis with that coming up. With all the bowl games this entire holiday season, we're going to bring you analysis for every single bowl game that you're going to see on TV. Playoffs, New York 6, or New Year's 6, and
Might as well be in
every
New York.
bowl game early. You got me talking about New York there, JD. Every bowl game earlier than that. JD, I know obviously we talked about these playoff games. Any other New Year's 6 games you are thinking of, it may interest you? I know obviously I'm excited about the Holiday Bowl with USC playing Iowa. You got that Sugar Bowl down there.
Man, you know I love me a little bit of sweet stuff, particularly some sugar. Now, a little bit more about me. I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia, so we got the good old boys and the Georgia Bulldogs with a little dance going on in New Orleans. Gonna be a great one New Year's Eve. I saw a hilarious tweet. A lot of Baptists on Bourbon Street on New Year's Eve. What could go wrong? Going to be a good time without a doubt. Interested to see just how this Baylor football team matches up against an SEC power. Yes, I did those air quotes there, power. So we'll see if Georgia's able to get on track offensively. Really, really looking forward to that one. Without a doubt, got that one circled on my calendar. Jake, speak a little bit more to that USC matchup you got going.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see Keaton against that Big Ten defense they always talk about up in Iowa. I know obviously we're not going up to play in Iowa. It's going to be down here in San Diego, but I'm interested to see how my Trojans fare against those Cyclones, baby.
Love it. How about the New Year's 6? Tell me what you're thinking about that. I know you're going to have a I mean, you're always a busy man this time of year, but talk to me a little more in between the eggnog and the presents and the fireworks for New Year's. I know you and I will probably have a nice old time this time of year, but talk to me a little bit more about your New Year's 6.
Yeah, I will be waking up
on there.
I will be waking up in a condition I'm not going to really mention here on this camera, but
This is a kids show. We just said we're their mother's favorite.
That's right.
Sports
It's my bad. But no, I'm excited for that Rose Bowl, Oregon versus Wisconsin. I think that's going to be a great matchup. How about
Couldn't
you?
agree with you more. Man, in terms of other bowls outside of that whole New Year's 6 situation, a game that I got my eye on, Jake? Michigan, Alabama in the Citrus Bowl. Now, if you told me before the year started, Alabama and Nick Saban, who had made the playoff every single year since the playoffs' existence, they would be playing in the Citrus Bowl, you're going to see just how much they really want to be in this bowl game. And then on the other side, Michigan Wolverines, a team that really kind of hit their stride later in the year. Obviously a tough loss at the hands of Alabama for their season finale, or for their regular season finale, I should say.
Ohio State.
That's going to be a really interesting matchup between two coaches and two pretty traditional blue bloods, if you will.
Yeah, who's going to look more unhappy on the sideline, Harbaugh or Saban?
Oh gosh, it depends on what Santa brings them in their stocking, I guess.
Well, I know I'm excited about the Bahamas Bowl as well. It's the first day, it kicks off on the 20th, and it's just going to be, it's always my favorite. You got those cold kids coming up from Buffalo down in the Bahamas. JD, when you were up in Ithaca, did you ever picture just a Bahama shoreline just to warm yourself up?
More than once, let's just say that. More than once did I have that in my mental imagery as I was walking to class in -20 wind chill.
Well, they're going to get it. They're going to get it. Any last bowls you're excited about before we go?
You know what, Jake? I got one more on the agenda that I'm looking at that caught my eye right off the bat. December 26th, the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit. You got the Eastern Michigan Eagles, one of the last teams to get a bowl bid, against Pitt Panthers. That is going to be very interesting. A team, like I said, Eastern Michigan, one of the last teams to get selected, that maybe comes in a little hungry, comes in swinging, gives us a good little matchup, 8 p.m. on ESPN, the day after Christmas, the gift that keeps on giving. College football bowl season, what more do you want? Got my eyes locked on that matchup, Jakey.
Oh man, we are excited, as you can tell, and I invite you to join us throughout this whole holiday season. Like I said, we're going to bring you analysis on Washed Up all holiday bowl season long. We're going to be talking about bowl stuff as we very cleverly put in an acronym, BS. We're going to bring you BS all holiday season long. Isn't that right, JD?
We're not off to a good start, Jake, on our whole pitch of your mother's favorite sports show, but I promise
we'll have to work on it. We'll have to work on it.
Stick with us. Come back for more.
Yes, come back. We're excited. Thank you for listening for this episode, first episode, again, of Washed Up, your two favorite washed up football players, bringing you everything you want this holiday season.